and racing up towards the line is another whiz-bang 2-year-old for Aidan O'Brien. It's Charles Darwin.
Field of Gold and Colin Keane, the gold standard in the St James's Palace.
Get It is all out from £10 racing up towards the line. Holcomb Bay near side. Get It, get it, get it, has got it.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aitken from Narrow in the Field. And we're crossing codes in this week's PodBlast, heading to Chepstow over the jumps to cover a couple of handicaps from their Saturday card before taking a trip to the Flat and Newmarket to tackle the big handicap of the day, of course. It is the 21-runner Cesarewitch, and we'll start off over the jumps at Chepstow with the Native River Handicap, due off at 2:45 on Saturday. Welcome along, Ben, and can you start us off with that one, please?
Morning, Tony. Yes.
Morning.
Native River Handicap chase. Four make my shortlist for this 3-mile handicap. I Destroy the Evidence, Il du Jersey, Neon Moon, and Ask Brewster. I Destroy the Evidence won the novice handicap chase at this meeting last year. He's still lightly enough raced as a chaser for this season. This being only his 7th start over fences. He beat Haiti Colours in that novice handicap last year. That one obviously went out and won his next 4 chase starts, including the National Hunt Challenge Cup at the Cheltenham Festival and the Irish National at Fairyhouse. And he's now rated 152. It's a full £30 higher than the mark he was running off when finishing second to Destroy the Evidence. I think that piece of form alone suggests that Destroy the Evidence is highly likely to be sitting on a very workable handicap mark right now. He runs here off 135. This might also be the time to catch him, the time of year, because he has 4 wins and 3 places from his 8 starts in May to October, compared to 0 wins and 2 places from 8 starts in all other months. And Destroy the Evidence, he's very much on my radar here. Il du Jersey for Nicky Henderson has been busy this summer. 5 runs since the middle of May, winning 3 of them and placing on the other 2. She was a winner last time out at Warwick, and although she was put up £5 for that, she could yet have more to offer over fences. Maybe a small concern that her wins have all come on easier tracks than Chepstow. And she does need to prove she can handle a track as undulating as Chepstow. But she does come into this in form and on the up, Il du Jersey. Neon Moon won the race last year off a £2 higher mark. He's a horse that is best away from the deep winter months. His form in February to October reads 7 wins from 19, compared to 0 wins from 11 in November to January. He's also 2 from 2 in October. Both those October runs coming off a similar length of break to the 161-day break he runs off here. His trainer, David Pipe, he also has some solid Chepstow stats in similar races to this. Chepstow handicap chases over 2 mile 7 or further in October to November, with horses running off breaks of 150 days or more. 7 wins and a close second from just 10 qualifiers, and I'd expect Neon Moon to be ready to defend his crown here. And Ask Brewster is the other on my shortlist. He's another relatively unexposed chaser. This is only his 8th chase start. Won his last 2 starts by wide margins. One of them over the Chepstow fences at pretty much the trip he faces here. He's 4 from 4 in the March to October period, compared to 0 from 8 all other months. So he's another of those that are happiest in the spring to autumn period. His trainer, Evan Williams, did suggest after his win at Cheltenham in April that they might be looking at the Scottish National as his main target of the season. So there might be a chance he won't be fully ready to fire for this seasonal return, but he's on my radar all the same. Ask Brewster. But I'm going to play 2 of the 4 that I just covered, and I'm going to go with Destroy the Evidence at around 4-1 and Neon Moon at around 15-2, 8-1 sort of price. There are 2 that I like: Destroy the Evidence and Neon Moon. Tony, what you got for this handicap chase?
I have got Destroy the Evidence and Neon Moon on my short list of 5.
Nice.
In this, I've got Knocker No as well on the short list, but the 2 I'll be playing, Neon Moon, obviously in the Native River colours as well, isn't he? Rockade Racing, so they'll have Neon Moon spot on for this, I would have thought, and that 4th. Back in May, we'll have him spot on here. You Toxer, was that the big handicap chase? I think, wasn't there? 15, 16 in that usually.
It was the Staffordshire Plate handicap chase.
Yes, yeah.
Which
at the end of last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or start of the summer jumpers, really, isn't it? He'll be spot on for this, especially in those colours. But I'll go for 2 different ones here. Ben, first of all, is Ho Jolly Smoke, who had a pretty consistent season last year for Dan and Harry Skelton, winning at Sandown in December, just before Christmas, got beat over Christmas in the Mandarin Handicap Chase at Newbury, and then came back to win at Sandown a week before Cheltenham in a Staying Chase. The Staying Chase series as well, beating Java Point and Neck as the 94 favourite. Was last seen pulled up in a Group 3 contest, the Bet365 Gold Cup. Just a little bit too far for him, I think. That one, as far as grade is concerned, he was 16-1 that day. He'll be back tomorrow. Ho Jolly Smoke for Dan and Harry Skelton around 5-1. And Ballycamas for Nigel and Willie Twiston-Davis is now on the licence. Sam Twiston-Davis takes the ride. He's around 10-1, and he was pretty solid and consistent last year, running at Windsor. Their new National Hunt course there. He ran a few times at Windsor as well, winning and then pulling up. But he won back in December, and then his last win came at Ludlow in February, beating 5 rivals by 6 lengths off a £4 higher mark. It was last seen in March, well beaten at Warwick, but I think he'll come back a little bit stronger. He's a course winner. He's won over a similar trip for Nigel and Willie Twiston-Davis. Ballycamas there for me, and backing up Neon Moon and Destroy the Evidence as well. But I'll be backing Ho Jolly Smoke at around 5-1 now. It was a bit bigger than when I was looking at the race yesterday, and Ballycamas at around 10-1. Silver Trophy Handicap Hurdle Class 2 over 2 miles, 3.5 furlongs is next. That's the 3:20 at Chepstow, Ben.
Yeah, nice and chunky. 18 are on our field to get stuck into here. I settled on a short list of French Ship, Joyeux Machine, and Eddie Wood. A French Ship is sitting near the head of the market as we record this, which I absolutely get, as his profile dictates that he's one that needs serious consideration for this. It makes his handicap debut here after 4 spins over hurdles last season, winning 2 of those starts, finishing second on one of them, and finishing 4th behind the New Lion at Newbury on the other one. The Skelton horse, he went out and won the Grade 1 Shallow Hurdle and then the Grade 1 Turner Novices Hurdle after that, ending the season on a rating of 159. Given that French Ship was only beaten 5.5 lengths behind the New Lion and only getting £1 from him, it's not hard to think that he's potentially thrown in here off 128. And this race has likely been the plan for some time for French Ship. Philip Hobbs, his trainer, having won this race 4 times previously. All 4 of those winners were aged 5 or 6, had 2, 3 or 4 previous hurdle starts, and were making their handicap debut in this race. Philip Hobbs has sent 6 horses to this race that met that profile. 4 of them won, and 1 of the others came a half length second, and French Ship fits that exact profile this year, being that he is a 5-year-old with 4 previous hurdle starts and is making his handicap debut. And he's very high in my thinking for this one. French Ship. Joyeux Machine. There's a few more runs on the board than French Ship, but this is only his 6th start for Dan Skelton. And there were signs on his last 3 runs that last season that Skelton was beginning to figure him out. And he's one that the trainer might still be able to get some improvement out of this season. He's a horse that goes well under the conditions he meets with on Saturday. Class 2 level and below on good to soft or quicker ground, where he is 4 wins and 2 places from 10 starts. That's all 4 of his career wins. So I can see Joyeux Machine going well here. And Eddie Wood is the other on my shortlist. He had a novice chase campaign last season, but returned last month over hurdles at Uttoxeter, winning a Class C handicap over 2 mile 4 relatively comfortably. He was raised £5 for that win, but that was only his second run in a handicap hurdle. And there's a chance he's still on a mark below his ceiling. James Snowden also has a decent record in the August to October period in Class 2, 3 and 4 races, with his last 2 mile winners that were returning off breaks of more than 25 days. 21 winners, 14 placed from 53 qualifiers, 40% win strike rate and over 46 points profit. I think Eddie Wood could be a player here in the Silver Trophy. Of that three, French Ship is definitely the most interest for me. He's the exact type that Hobbs wins this race with. And I suspect his mark of 128 will prove to be below the ceiling of his abilities. So French Ship for me, and I'll maybe take Eddie Wood as a bit of an each-way play as well. So French Ship and Eddie Wood for me in the Silver Trophy. Tony, what you got?
Yeah, I've got Friendship, mate, as well, with exactly the same reasons as you mentioned. Hobbs's record in this over the years is second to none, absolutely second to none, and just worth following Friendship basically because of who trains it and how he targets this race every year. Friendship, definitely for me, course and distance, can't add anything more to what you said. The other ones on my short list, I wouldn't put anybody off backing them. Josh the Boss looks interesting for Nigel and Willie Twiston Davis, with Jamie Neal claiming 7 on that. And the other one I'll be playing as well as Friendship is Greyval each way. Course and distance winner. Winner over course and distance back in March, beating 6 rivals half a length. He then went on to win at Cheltenham in April meeting for Cheltenham in the Mayor's Challenger Series with Jonathan Burke in the saddle there. He also had a spin on the flat last month with Holly Doyle on the back of him as well, on her as well, the mare by the Great Gatsby. But Great Val as an each-way proposition here for Fergal O'Brien. Johnny Burke back in the saddle there, but very much with Friendship. I've already wrote my each-way double down for tomorrow, Ben. Destroy the Evidence, Holy Joe Smoke in our first, Friendship and Greyval. Very much with Friendship, mate. Very, very much with Friendship. Definitely. So on to the big one, 340 at Newmarket, the Cesarewitch Class 2 handicap over 2 miles, 2 furlongs. Here we go. 21 is it going to post, Ben?
21 runners, yep. Going to post for the Cesarewitch. I settled on a short list of Nidawi, Fireblade, Vaguely Royale and the Bunting. And Nidawi started as second favourite in the race last year. He ran poorly. He finished a tailed off 24th of 24, and that was up a mark of 92. So he's £3 lower this year on 89. Mark is also a long way below his hurdles mark. He's rated 154 over hurdles. Although it's always tricky to accurately compare flat marks with hurdle marks, a £65 difference looks big, and he could have plenty up his sleeve from this lower flat rating. They also reach for first-time cheek pieces, which is interesting. His trainer, Gordon Elliott, has some decent stats with his first-time cheek piece wearers at UK tracks, especially those running off breaks of 42 days or less. He's 10 winners and 9 placed from 43 qualifiers. A 23% win strike rate and over 22 points profit, and I'd be expecting a much better showing from the Nidawi this year than what he showed in last year's race, which won't be difficult because he was beaten out of sight. But yeah, I expect Nidawi to run a lot better this time around. Fireblade runs for Dylan Kuna, and the 4-year-old has really kicked on since he moved to the trainer from the Gosdens at the start of the season. He comes here off a career best effort when losing out in a 3-way photo at York at the start of last month. I think his mark of 90 doesn't look beyond him, and he can potentially get involved here. Fireblade. Vaguely Royale has his first run for his new yard and his first run for 105 days. He's a big price for this. He's 100 to 1 plus, but he's well handicapped on his best form. He's running from a mark £11 below his highest place mark and £5 below his highest win mark. He's also run well on both previous starts on the Rolling Mile. He finished second on both occasions. And he could be interesting at big prices. Vaguely Royale. And Bunting, he's the other on my shortlist. He's one of 3 Willie Mullins runners in the race this year. He's only had the 3 flat starts since moving from France. The third of those coming over 1 mile 5 at Leopardstown last month. He was an eye-catcher on that occasion. He was doing his best work late in the day, looking like he was being tuned up for a future target, and I would suspect it's most likely this target. And he does fit the profile of the 3 previous Willie Mullins winners of this race. They were all GB or French-bred 5 or 6 year olds, running off breaks of 28 days or more, and had previously run over at least 2 mile 4. With those types in the Cesarewitch, Willie Mullins is 3 winners and 3 places from just 10 qualifiers, and I'd expect Bunting to be tuned to the minute for this assignment. And Bunting is the one that interests me the most for the Cesarewitch. This is likely being a bit of a long-term plot from Connections, being that he's owned by notorious gambler Tony Bloom. The booking of William Buick is a positive. I think that's a signal of intent, and 8-1 looks a decent price for the 5-year-old. So it's Bunting for me in the Cesarewitch. Tony, what you got?
Nothing else, Ben? Nothing else in there? Is that your only bet?
I will have, but I've still got work to do. But he's the one that's jumping out at me just now. But cool. Yeah, when we're off finished here, I'll be digging straight into the race again. Deeper.
Yeah. I've got, actually on the shortly, I've got 2 Gordon Elliott horses. I've got Nadawi that you mentioned there. He very much a standout as well. And when you mentioned there the difference in weight as well, the official rating to his flat mark of 89 is incredible stuff. Nadawi, first time cheek pieces, but I believe in him, and I'm going for Mordor, Jamie Spencer in the saddle for Gordon Elliott. Pretty solid and consistent since April. Navan on good ground, finishing third of 6, only beaten 1.5 lengths, and then he won at Killarney over 2 miles, 1 furlong in May. Beating 14 rivals, 2 3/4 lengths. Chris Hayes was in the saddle that day. He did get beat. He got stuffed in the Stayers Handicap in June at the Curragh. But he came back to run a bit of he finished second of 12. He was 9.5 lengths adrift of Kyle of Localge, who was 5-1 that day, was Mordor, and fancied to go a little bit better than, or get within more than 9.5 lengths of the winner. But a second of 12 isn't too bad at Glorious Goodwood on soft ground. So Mordor tomorrow for me, Jamie Spencer, and Gordon Elliott trained at 20-1. And possibly a little bit higher up in the market is Bailey Bay for trainer Ian Williams, Billy Loughnane in the saddle, 9-1 that currently. Another one who's been pretty solid and consistent since August. Quite a number of runs since August. Winning at Newmarket at the beginning of the month, then 5 days later winning once again, back in that win up at Chepstow off a mark of 85. He's off 91 in the Cambridgeshire. He has finished second, or beaten 2 1/4 lengths at Hamilton. Then he ran at Doncaster St Leger meeting, finishing second of 13. So a pretty consistent performer is Bailey Bay, and I think he's a knocking each way bet at 9-1. Last seen finishing third of 14. Just beaten 1 length at Newbury in the Autumn Cup. So Bailey Bay for me, for Ian Williams and Billy Loughnane at around 9-1. Mordor for Gordon Elliott and Jamie Spencer at around 20-1. Ben, have you got your National Hunt members coming up very soon?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Doors not opening yet.
No, still got the flat to go. I've extended the flat right through to Champions Day. Next week. Yeah. And then I need a little break.
Good man. No. As we do.
Yeah. I've no dates yet.
Okay, mate. Okay. Many thanks for listening. The latest edition of the Racing PodBlast, and very best of luck with your bets at both Chepstow and Newmarket this weekend. You can catch me on 3B's Radio Bridlington every morning from Monday to Friday from 6 o'clock in the morning. And you can catch more from Ben over on Narrow in the Field, That's narrowinthefield.co.uk. Thanks once again to Ben. Cheers, Ben, and we'll see you all again soon.
Cheers, Don.